Okay. Get in here, dummy. Show's starting. So, alright. Out of my way. Out of my way. There we go. Is it happening? It's happening. Yes, there we are. Hi, fat cat. Okay, turn off the stupid light. Go there. I'm up there. You're right there. The dog is there. The cat is there. Okay, so hopefully the camera doesn't freeze. The camera had been freezing over and over and over and over, and the monkey cam didn't work, then the microphone didn't work. We've unplugged everything, we started a couple of times, and hopefully we got it going on here. So, put that on live chat, that's going there. Okay. Trump's still rattling those sabers for Venezuela. Personally, I think he's been holding off until the Epstein files get released on the 19th, and then he'll drop all sorts of bombs. Trump also threatened the state of Indiana that if they didn't vote to gerrymander the districts into all Republican districts, that he was going to cut off federal funding for basically everything. Close military bases, shut down guard units, no longer fund highway improvements, etc. And you know what the Republicans did? They voted no. So they basically told Trump to go fuck himself. And this might be the signs of a revolt happening amongst MAGA. They might be like, you know what? We're not going to do this crap anymore. It's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Republicans and federally, though, they voted to not extend subsidies for health insurance, meaning if you are a family of 4, your health insurance with probably a $15,000 to $20,000 deductible is going to cost upwards of $2,000 to $4,000 a month. That kind of implies that the average wage across the United States, that 100% of the average wage for a family of 4 is going to go to health insurance. I mean, you won't be able to afford your home, car, food, clothing, vacations, fuel, fucking anything. So, yeah. Little kitty cat. What else was I going to talk about, monkey? This bunch you did broke or injured. It's, for some reason, that's really what gets them going. Well, I'm gonna hit this thing. Hopefully it works. Let's try it. He's just so rough with them. Okay, turning off after dark. I got super chats right off the bat, so I gotta Don C. Shadem Houston. Check out my band on YouTube when you get a chance. Look up Bend the Snake or Genesis by Clock Towers. 50-year-old and a metal band. Well, that sounds like fun. Gonna swing that guy over there. Hopefully. Do you want me to play your music on the show? Will I have the right to do that, or you ding me for copyright infringement? I will check them out. So, Clock Towers, Bend the Snake, Genesis. Clock Tower. Oh, I can use my pencil. Clock Towers. Bend the Snake and Genesis. Okay. All right. Homina. And who else popped in here? Billcoin, you may have malware in your computer. It's acting exactly like it has. It's not malware. It is the latest updates from Windows. And I've got basically 3 days to roll back those updates, which I'll probably do tonight because it's been such a nightmare. And because Microsoft has not come out with a fix yet. NVIDIA has a sort of fix for problems with frame rates and video games and stuff. But it's all Microsoft, basically. Like, if you try to fix the problem by opening up Taskbar. So you open up Task Manager, right? Task Manager, and it shows you all the processes that are going. You're like, oh man, that shit's fucked up. So you try to do what you can, you close Task Manager. What happens after that is that Task Manager doesn't close. it starts opening up like 2, 3, 4 more instances of itself and all the processes that are going on in the background. I don't know what Microsoft was thinking. This is the worst update I've ever gotten from Microsoft. It is terrible. And I don't really know who approved this. It's straight up AI is what they're doing. Probably had Cortana like, hey Cortana, make some bullshit and send it to everyone's computers. So that's what we have. Bullshit at everyone's computers. Polestar says, yo. Polestar says first. Polestar says, people are losing their minds over RC's dumb video, trying to connect it to random shit. Yeah, RC did a video where he used like the little face camera thing that like makes it look like a butthole, and he's like, blah, 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 blah. And people are freaking like, oh my god, oh my god. I don't give a shit. Money. That's all. If I invest in something, all I care about is money. Where's money? So rather than doing stupid stuff, money. You can do stupid stuff as long as people get money, but if you just do stupid stuff and there's no money, well, and people like to point out, oh, they redid the board governance and succession plan and all this stuff. Like, money. Money, 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 money. 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 Grow revenue, get people money. That's all that matters. And Polestar says, that's my CEO. Dana Crockett, how early in 2026 are you likely to see the impact of rising healthcare costs on stocks and economic conditions and on well-being? What, January? Probably when January premiums come in. People will go, what? And then all of a sudden you'll see consumer spending go. I mean, if your deductible is $15,000 to $20,000, for most people you may as well not have insurance. That's what it comes down to. Like, you don't have $15,000 to $20,000 laying around in the first place, let alone the $2,000 to $4,000 a month it's going to cost for the insurance that gives you the privilege of that. Like, there's some pretty easy ways. If you want to have a private health insurance system, there's some pretty easy ways, legally speaking, to make it functional. You can do things like, if health insurance costs more than $100 a month in premiums, you cannot have a deductible or copay, right? Boom, done. You want a deductible? That insurance got to cost under $100 a month. You don't want a deductible? Well, it's like that's the way it goes. If you want to charge people $1,000 a month for their insurance, there cannot be a deductible. That's it. You can also, remove profit incentive. You can start charging insurance executives with murder when they deny people coverage and they pass away. Because that seems pretty premeditated to me. And all of a sudden, you'll see people getting services and it's getting paid for, and red tape and all this administrative bullcrap all of a sudden just disappears because you don't have to spend so much time fighting it. But yeah, it's going to happen pretty darn quick. People don't suddenly have like $2,000-3,000 extra dollars a month. They just don't. I mean, there are articles coming out showing people who make $300,000 a year. We're talking over $20,000 a month, right? $25,000 a month. That these folks are living paycheck to paycheck. So in 2 months, they make what I basically do in a year, and they're living paycheck to paycheck. So, well, how's everyone else doing? If that's the case, seems like we're in some weird end times here. Bill Coyne, ho ho ho, merry disaster. Polestar says, see the new proposed rules for tourists, quotes a DNA submission as one of their possible requirements. The one requirement is they must provide access to their last 5 years of social media. Proposed is they must reveal who all of their relatives are, submit DNA evidence, and give password level access to like everything. So basically, no one's coming for the World Cup or the Olympics. If you are outside this country and want to come visit the United States, you're not coming now. So there goes $60 billion a year in tourist dollars. Gone, right? I don't know what it is they're hoping to achieve with this. I mean, I guess it's xenophobia and racism, but if you cut off the world and the world spends money on your things and you no longer get that money, then all your racism has done is made you poor. Right? It's like we're looking forward to impoverished racism. And once like you get through, like you kick out all the people of color and everything else and shit is still bad, then you have no one to blame it on, right? Like we got rid of all the Mexicans and the black people and there's no foreigners coming in anymore and nobody has any money, inflation's terrible and everyone hates us and my life sucks. Well, shit. It's got to be the brown-eyed white people, right? And that's we're just going to like distill ourselves down to just sheets of paper walking around and that's going to be our life. That's it. Right, kitty? Right. It's Black Cat's problem. That's what it is. Polestar says new Luigi evidence showing possible planting of the gun. Yes. So Luigi had not been Mirandized. There's no warrants. Apparently, police officer. She opened up the backpack, took out all the belongings, turned off her camera, pulled all the belongings back in. Zipped it up, went to the police station. On the way to the police station, stopped, received an item, I guess it's on the dash cam, received an item from another police car, right? And then they get to the police station. She turns her camera back on, opens the backpack, and there's just that gun sitting in the top of the bag. So, oh my gosh. They're really fucking this up, the prosecutors. It's phenomenal. Corey Jones, 1805, Super Chats. Bro, did you see that video of the plane in Florida making an emergency landing? Bro, did you see that video of the plane in Florida and landed on some lady's car? Yeah. Crunch. And amazingly, only minor injuries. I'm surprised that lady is not a pancake. I guess it landed on the passenger side mostly, and there wasn't anybody over there, so she, like, when my rollover accident, had, like, a little triangle of life there. Crazy. Right, Monkey? You've been on a plane before. Do you remember? You're only like 9 months old, though, and you were in a cargo hold, so probably know what the hell's going on. You've never been on a plane as far as I know. Yeah, no. But Karen Mirza says, Monkey Treat, flooding in Washington and British Columbia. Yes, the flooding is a lot, and it's not happening here. We have like this perfect rain shadow coming over the island right now. We talked about rain shadows a couple of shows ago. There you go. Yep. And you want to do your fighting? Yeah. You break off that piece. You get it? Hold as tight as I can. You break it off. Come on. You got it. You break it off, buddy. Oh, you're almost figuring it out. So close. Oh, yeah. Arrow. Come on, man. Come on. You want it so bad. You're twerking. Come on. Hold it real still. You can just twerk that piece out there. Come on, you got it. You got it. Come on. Oh, there he goes. There's a piece right there. Boom. Right there. There you go. You got it. It's the tiniest piece yet, but hey, it's something, right? Good job. Yeah, flooding is quite bonkers. We can, you know what? We can Google Earth it. We like Google Earth around here. We'll talk about more flooding because it's flooding where I am. Okay, so you can see from space the river systems, right? You got these big river systems that come out of the Cascades, big river systems that come out of the Cascades, big river systems that come out of the Cascades. So most of this storm, kitty, oh my god, I'm always in the way of everything. Most of the storm is coming directly from the west. So it's dumping obscene amounts of rain in the west Olympic Mountains and obscene amounts of rain on the west side of the Cascades. But when the wind comes over, the weather comes over the Olympics, it's making this rain shadow right over me in Seattle, and we aren't getting anything. Whereas in Olympia is getting like 2-3 inches a day. We get like a 1/16 of an inch here on Bainbridge. There's really nothing going on. And again, they're getting like inches and inches and inches. and about 10 inches plus a day right now in the mountains. My best friends live in Snoqualmie. I think I talked about this. There's North Bend, there's Snoqualmie. This is the river here, and they live in this area. They happen to be about 2 feet higher than the neighbors. All their neighbors are flooded, and their house has not flooded yet, so that's good. But the river is at 60 feet, which is, I think the record's like 62 or somewhere in there. So this entire valley, all these farm fields, everything down here, absolutely beyond flooded, super flooded, all reaches. The big floodplain that everyone had emergency orders last night, they had to like GTFO, is Burlington, Mount Vernon, this area here. This is the Skagit River. Yeah, Skagit River. And basically, the valley itself represents pretty much the 100-year floodplain. And last night, they gave emergency orders to everyone in the 100-year floodplain, basically saying you have an hour to get out. And then it all flooded. And it receded, and now it's flooding again because another storm came in tonight. And then what's happening is the next week, apparently, there's another one of these huge Pineapple Expresses coming in, and it's going to flood all over again. So it's going to be a pretty brutal thing. They're at almost 30 inches of rain in the mountains here in the last 4 days, which is crazy amounts. Like, you get 30 inches of rain in a hurricane in the south, but it's 95 degrees, and so the evapotranspiration rate is actually pretty high. So it'll get flood, everything will come through, then the next day it looks dry. Here, it doesn't dry. It stays cloudy, it stays cold, the water doesn't evaporate, and just stays wet and soggy for months at a time. So it's a real brutal to get this out. Up here in Canada, the Fraser River Valley is flooding like crazy. This north part, where Delta, Sumas is, these places, these are like crazy floodplains, and it is all like flooding and now going into Abbotsford, and so they're getting lots of floods in here. But I mean, the reason why the soils are so great is because of the historical flooding through this region for millions of years. But it's I was supposed to go on a date tonight with a young lady who lives out here. And she can't get out because all the roads going across these rivers, they're closing all the bridges because the water's touching the bridges, and so we're not going out after this show tonight. Maybe we'll get a chance over the weekend. I don't know. So c'est la vie. Here we are. Spend the night at home. In my most boring shirt I own. Okay, where were we? We were at Brandon Wells. Sup, have you read any of Jake 2B's post? I saw that he had a big long post. I read part of it. It just seems like it's just same old to me. I think the info's there. We're just waiting. I don't think anything new has really come out about BBBY recently. So it's all just kind of the same stuff to me over and over again. Oh, there's Nextbridge Hydrocarbons. Finished all their 10Ks they had to do. Remember they weren't allowed to have their S1 approved unless they went back and revised all their 10Ks. They announced today in a press release they revised them all. And then they buried that announcement. In that announcement, the notice that one of their Louisiana Wildcats has no oil in it, so moving on to the next one. Shut up, cat. They really needed to fight more and get that Texas oil field back in the Oro Grande. Yeah. Polestar, at least we have daily Jake posts until Xmas to keep the hopium alive. ECB, so 741 is only up spy program to $741. Alright. J-Dog, Nixbridge files, forms, blah, 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 pay me FINRA. My thoughts exactly. J-Dog, 1,099 days since U3 halt, which the anniversary the anniversary was the other day. It's been 3 years already? Oh my gosh, Mikey. The anniversary was 2 days. It was on Tuesday. My goodness. Tomorrow was supposed to be the anniversary of, everyone forced closures and all that stuff. And that didn't happen. Hot Pocket Rebel. Well, the Orioles checkbook has been opened. Heat to Baltimore for 5 years. Christmas came early in Birdland. I called this on your show Tuesday. O's aren't done yet to sign Imai Tatsuya watch. I am actually surprised that the Orioles got Alonso. I'll be honest. I didn't think they had the money to do it, and I didn't think Alonso would be willing to go to a team that didn't have much protection around him. But I guess like the Mets just aren't paying anybody. They're like, we have no money. So Steve Cohen is like, the purse is closed. So basically, Juan Soto now is just going to get walked like 300 times a year because there's no one behind him who's a masher, and so he's not going to get pitched to at all. So good for you, Orioles. Good for getting Alonso in there. I'm sure he'll do well in the American League. The Mariners side, I think the Mariners need to get Okamoto. Okamoto is a big, heavy-hitting third baseman. He hit 40-plus home runs a year and fields really well, and he's up. And I think the Mariners should spend the money on him, but I'm sure it's going to be a big old betting race to get him. Hotbog Rebel also says... Hotbog Rebel says, the O's are not messing around. This is a new era in Baltimore baseball. Signing Pete first got everyone's attention. Now any free agent pitcher is going to want to hop on to play with this offense. Hopefully. And huge pitcher going to sign with us. Blockbuster headline news type deal. Costs money. They've had a really tight payroll. 2 years ago when they made the playoffs, they had the lowest payroll in all of the American League, and they made the playoffs, and everyone's like, what? And it did not improve last year. So maybe they've been saving money. I don't know. There's been quite a turnaround in Baltimore for all sorts of things, so good for you guys. Turkish, where's the money? Jason Lebowski, Houston. Look up the word kakistocracy. Propos? Kakistocracy is when government is run by the dumbest people. Basically, like morons have taken over. That's a kakistocracy. And we also have a kleptocracy going on, and oligarchy going on, oligopoly. So, yeah. Turkish, what's going on with GME? And I think BBY is dead. GME beat earnings, but revenue dropped, so that everything got hammered. I don't know what GME plans for revenue growth outside of eventual merger acquisition, because they're going to close more stores, and that will drop revenue even further. So I don't know what's going to happen, or more when something is going to happen. So here we sit, twiddling thumbs, slapping thighs, wondering. Ed says, what got you into geology stuff? Well, originally I was an industrial engineering major, and I wanted to do engineering and design, and I wanted to design cars. That was my thing. I wanted to work for an auto company and design cars. And I got hit by a car and left for dead. I had to bounce around community colleges for a while because I lost my baseball scholarship, and so I started taking physics classes, and I was like, you know what? I like physics a lot. I'm going to switch to physics. So I switched to physics, and then I took a deep space astronomy course, and I was like, these are my people. I'm switching from physics to astronomy. And then I went looking for the best astronomy program in the world. And just so happened, the best astronomy program in the world was tied to the worst Division I baseball team in the world, which was the University of Hawaii at Hilo. And I was like, I can play Division I baseball and get an astronomy degree? Let's do this. So I moved to Hawaii. And while I was doing my astronomy degree, it's very, very linear. Like, you have to take this class before you're allowed to take that class. And you have to take this class before you're allowed to take that class. And you have to take this class before you're allowed to take that. And it's going to take me 3 years regardless to get through all the astronomy classes. And then they offered some of the classes at alternating years, and so it was going to be a while. And I was like, well, I'm already paying the money, and anything more than 15 credits doesn't cost me any more money, so I'm just going to load up. And I looked at other programs, and I always did well in geography. I went to the National Geographic Bee twice when I was in middle school. I'm a maps guy. And it didn't matter. You could take any geography class whenever you wanted, whenever it was offered, and all you needed was like 30 credits, and you got a geography degree. I'm like, I can do that in no time. So I loaded up in a bunch of geography classes, and was taking my physics and my math and my astronomy for the astronomy degree. I was like, I'll double major. I'll get geography and I'll get astronomy. And then I realized that there's this thing called Earth and Space Science minor, focus on space rocks, and all of my geography classes were counting towards it. All my astronomy classes were counting towards it. I had to take 2 geology courses to get that minor. I was like, you know what the hell? We'll take a couple of geology courses. And I took the geology courses, and I was like, this is a lot of fun. Because I get to go outside, and I get to go poke things. With astronomy, you're in your brain a lot. Like, you're imagining things, and you're doing math for it, and you're making these models and structures, but you never actually get to touch it. Like, I can't go and, like, scoop out a star and be like, I got some star, right? If I had access to, like, you know, spaceships and I can go out other planets and asteroids, that'd be one thing. But I didn't. In astronomy, you're just stuck in your head, and you don't get to take field trips. In geology and geography, you take field trips all the time because it's out there. You go grab a rock and smash it, and go map an area. You climb a mountain, do all sorts of cool stuff. And so I was like, you know what? Looking at this geology degree, if I focus on a geology BA and not a BS, and it's like 5 less courses, I can get that triple major. You know, fit in that same amount of time I need to graduate. So I went to the head of the geology department, and I'd taken, I think it was historical geology, geology of the Hawaiian Islands, and intro to geology at that point. And I went to him, I was like, hey, I want to get another degree in geology. What do I do to, like, get that going? He was like, oh no, you have to get into mineralogy right now, because if you don't, we don't offer it again for 2 more years, and you need that to graduate. It's a required course, and we're having our midterm on Monday. And I was like, well, damn. And so he was like, if you can come in and you take that midterm on Monday and you get a passing grade, I'll let you in the class. At this point, I knew nothing about mineralogy. Not a fucking thing. I'd never studied it. I never looked at it. Never cared about it. So I went to the library, and I got... Do I still have it? Geology Illustrated. There we go. This book right here. This is the book I got. And is this the one I stole? No, it isn't. I got this book. It's a mineralogy book from, like, I don't know, 1983. It's a mineralogy book from 1983. And this is like a Thursday or Friday when he tells me I need to learn mineralogy and take this test on Monday. I have no idea what the questions are. I don't. So I get this book, I open it up, and I read this fucking thing cover to cover over the weekend. Just read the entire thing. And I come in on Monday, I sit down, and I had lots of friends that I knew taking science classes and stuff with, and so I knew quite a few people on this mineralogy course, and they're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, well, I'm going to try and get a geology degree too, and Dr. Hahn said that I need to take this midterm, otherwise he won't let me. And they're like, good luck. And so I took the midterm. I was like, a lot of this stuff seems pretty familiar. The part I had a real problem with was this. In the structure of minerals, they got this thing called C-plane and Z-plane, and it's like shifted different than in math. At that time, my brain didn't really understand what those questions were, so I bombed all those ones. So I come back in on Wednesday, because I think it's a Monday, Wednesday course, and then Friday's lab. And I come in on Wednesday, and he's passing out the tests. And he did the meanest thing he could possibly do, which was he's reprimanding them. He's like, you guys are all a bunch of retards. You're so stupid. None of you did your homework. You suck at this. Why am I even bothering? All of you bombed this test, except for the guy who never took this class for the last 2.5 months, he got a C. And everyone in the class looked at me with like such fire and hatred because I got a C plus on that midterm, and they hated me. Even my friends in that class really hated me. So that's how I ended up doing geology, was the Earth and Space Science degree, and then the geology courses allowed me to like go outside and explore a bunch. And when I graduated, like my focus was basically space rocks. That's what I cared about. I cared about mining space and mission planning for doing that, getting into asteroids, moon, dwarf planets, things like that. And I'd graduated and I was in grad school at UW. Actually, I wasn't in grad school yet at UW. This is like a year before. And I realized that I did all these geology courses. I've seen the lava rocks. I've poked lava. I've learned about these things. I want to like look for stuff in space, but I've never actually looked for anything before. And so I bought a gold sluice and some gold pan, and I was like, let's see if we can find some gold. Let's figure it out. So I go down to a stream next to my house here. Zoom in on La Bainbridge. So there is a ravine right here, right by the ferry. And I was like, oh, this is... I was living over here at the time, and there's a ravine right here, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go see if I can get gold. It's not a gold-bearing area. I know it's all like alluvium, but there might be glacier gold brought down from Canada. So I go, and I go to the stream, and I put the sluice box down, and I get a bunch of gold, or I get a bunch of dirt, and then I fill it up buckets, and I take it home, and I start panning it. And I get gold. I'm like, holy shit, I got gold. So then I went up the mountains, did the same thing. Then I bought a gold dredge, a metal detector, and before long I was making actually a decent part of my income in gold. And then the economy crashes, and the mountains all of a sudden are full of just the worst people. Because a lot of people are out of work, and so like, I need something. Oh, go mine gold in the mountains. So you have all these people who've never done it before. They're in the mountains, and they are violent. They're angry. They're greedy. They don't care about claims. They don't care about the laws. They don't care about the environment, and they're out there just looking to kill somebody. And so after a couple of years of just getting guns put in my face and threatened and dealing with these assholes, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm not doing gold anymore. So I still have a couple of gold claims up here by Winthrop, in North Cascades, but for the most part, I pretty much would use those in the summertime. I go out in August and like teach friends how to do gold, and we camp for a couple of days, and that's basically it. So I started looking at gemstones and focusing on those. There's a few gemstones in Washington, but there's better stuff in the Rockies, so I've got lots of claims in the Rockies. Because if you run into somebody looking for gemstones, it's usually like a retired couple in an RV, and their backs don't work and their legs are broken, and they just like to sit in a chair and like smash a little rock and get a crystal out and like give it to the grandkids. So you not really have anything to worry about with the gemstone people. And being younger and stronger and bigger, I can hike into places the old people couldn't go with their RVs and get cooler stuff. And so then that's when I moved into gemstones. And oh, cat, quit yelling at me! No one wants to hear it. And that's my geology story. So there you go. Okay, my phone was exploding there. Was anything important? Oh, Iggy's just saying, move the microphone closer to my face. I'm very quiet right now, so maybe... Oh, it looks like it's it's where it's always been, but I don't know, maybe the unplugging and the plugging things in really kind of ruined it. If I turn it that way, it doesn't really do anything. If I do that, no, it's just very quiet. So maybe the unplugging and plugging is no longer doing multi-directional. What do we got here? Dials. What are you? Pattern. Gain? I don't know what that means. Maybe if I do that? Does that work? Is that better? Huh. Oh, maybe it's on the monkey cam mic? Oh, that might be what it's on. Oh, let me check. One sec. Microphone. Bam. Properties. Does that do it? Did that better? Did that? Now it says Yeti. So, huh. Well, it looks like it's going a little higher this time. Did that work? Huh. Weird. Okay. Well, that's what I get for like plugging things in and plugging things out and doing all that. Link cam still working. Houston cam still working. Microphone hopefully working. It says yeah. Well, yeah, better. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Iggy. Okay. All right. So got that there. Got that there. All right. So you guys heard a muffled story the entire time from me and about geology. So there we go. Where am I now? Okay, that's the oral stuff. That's that stuff. That's that thing. That's there. That is dead bass. On a scale of boring to getting yourself fired, where would you recommend aiming for with workplace Secret Santa? The most fun Secret Santa presents are disgusting. That's true. Not everyone appreciates a good disgusting present, but your coworkers will find it hilarious. Maybe not the one receiving the gift. I remember doing Secret Santa one year, and we had this little Guatemalan lady, and this is at a bar, and this little Guatemalan lady, Martha, and she didn't speak a lick of English, and she was like this big, strong as an ox, 3 feet tall, and spoke no English whatsoever. And we did a Secret Santa, and she got a Secret Santa gift, and it was a silver bullet, like a little vibrator. And she, like, not speaking English, thought it was the funniest thing she'd ever gotten in her entire life, and it was just like, who gave this to me? That was funny. I would avoid that personally. I don't think I'd have the balls to pull that off. So don't go with boring. Don't go with like a gift card or something like that. Do like, I remember once I did in high school, we had a Secret Santa for a school play we were doing. And the kid that I had gotten Secret Santa for, I was like, I'm going to go all out. And so I went to the thrift store and I went looking, and I found this like 1960s matching luggage set, like burnt orange with like, olive green stripes on it. It was like amazing. And it was like a hat box, shoe box, big luggage, small, like it's like 6 different pieces of luggage all matched. And at the time, because thrift stores used to be awesome, it was like $10 for the whole thing. And so I got that, and then I found in the record collection, like someone had dropped off all of Ted Nugent's albums. So it's like Wild Man and the Nuge and whatever, and like in loincloths and bow and arrows and weird shit on the album covers. And so in each and every one of those pieces of luggage, I put a Ted Nugent album. And so in total, this thing cost me like $15 to do. And then I brought it to the school theater, and then I covered it in just like a bunch of wrapping paper, and I put John Paul, the kid's name, John Paul, on there. And he thought it was amazing. So I think go weird. Go to the thrift store and see what weird stuff you can find. That's what I think you should do. So there are people saying now it sounds better than ever before. Fantastic. All right. Well, that's good, right, Kitty? We fixed things even further because Iggy messaged me to let me know what was going on. Frozen Productions, 3i Atlas. It is said by A.V. Loeb that and others that is older than our universe. How do they get this estimation? They don't. There's no way to age 3i Atlas any way, shape, or form that we have, unless we were to go and gather material from it and be able to do something like potassium argon dating, uranium lead dating, something like that. But we have no idea how old it is without actually gathering the material from 3i Atlas itself. So we might be able to go out, send a probe out, and like collect some of the dust that came off of the tail, but claiming that it's older than the universe, They've nothing to base that on. So that's silly. That's silly stuff. So I don't know. No. Resident Productions also says, with new CERN collider, they're searching for breaks in space-time continuum. What if they detect a Laurent invariance? And did I ask this correctly? I have no idea. I don't know enough about theoretical physics to know what the hell any of that is. Laurent invariance. Lorentz invariance, fundamental physics, especially special relativity, stating that the laws of physics and physical measurements, like the speed of light, remain the same for all observers, regardless of their constant relative velocity. Oh, okay, yeah, you do the Lorentz transformation. Okay, yeah. Means that physical equations must look identical in all internal inertial frames, ensuring consistency with key examples being consistency, blah, blah, blah. Cat, no one wants to hear it. You want to come up here and have some drugs and then maybe you'll shut up? What you want? Want some of this? Yeah? Want some of that, kitty? Want some of that right there? Want some of that? Come here. Yeah. Come on. There's drugs. Look at all those drugs. Eat that and be happy. Maybe you won't yell at me. I don't know how they would break that, because the whole point of the Lorentz covariance is that if you are traveling 1,000,000 miles an hour, right? The speed of light you measure on your ship traveling 1,000,000 miles an hour will appear exactly the same as it does to an outside observer. The difference is the outside observer will see the color of the light differently than you do, because the wavelengths get shortened, and so you'll see the light as brighter, and the stationary person will see it as, well, they'll see it brighter as you come to them, dimmer as they pass by, and really dim as you leave. But you'll see it as like a constant frame. So why are you looking at me? I'm not giving you drugs. I'm not giving you drugs, dude. So I don't know how they would do that personally. All right. You like ate none of your drugs, man. Look at all these drugs right here. Look at this. Look at that. Hey, fatso. Look, how many drugs are right there? Look at that. Yeah, there's so many. There's so many right there. Right there. Put your little face right in there. There you go. Yeah. Nom 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 nom. Okay. Fred Jones asking if I'm alive. I am. First in Productions. Why does Scott Ritter keep talking like Ukraine has zero chance of surviving and they must give Russia concessions? Meat wave failures, no armor, burning oil, bank collapse, say otherwise. Scott Ritter is a convicted pedophile. And for some reason, convicted pedophiles find themselves going to Russia. So pretty much all the Americans who have like gone to Russia to go fight for the Russians happen to be convicted pedophiles, people who are wanted for on charges of pedophilia, child sex trafficking, things like that. So I don't know what it is about the Russian cause that attracts those guys, but that's where Scott Ritter seems to work. Scott Ritter, I think, is definitely on the payroll of Russians. He's paid to be pro-Russia. He should not be listened to on any of his opinions ever, because he's a paid mouthpiece and a kid diddler. So just avoid Scott Ritter in general. Yeah, your butt is in the way. Mint Coronado, Polymarket, how many times does Houston pet the co-host? 50 combined? Or under 50? Over 50 or under 50? How many times do I pet you in a show, huh? How many times do you get pet? Does like one scratch count, or is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or me reaching for them one whole time, right? Because there's the fat guy right there in the camera, right there, getting all scratched up. Look at that little dude. Oh, he's so happy. He's so happy. Oh, look at him in the monkey cam. Oh, best day of his life. Okay. Lay your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Informed pre-stream butt drums do not count. All right. I'll play the butt drums. Ain't a petting. Okay. This is where my camera's not working, going through this whole thing. Sure is not shiny enough, user error. Ryan Hurt asks, have we heard anything about Bed Bath & Beyond? Which version? The Overstock version or the bankrupt version? Because not really much out of either of those. There's a merger for like $25 million with a brand company like a month ago. That's all we got. Joe's Mammy Orange Man posts about a full pardon for Tina Peters, which means nothing as she's in prison on state charges. Yeah, Trump hasn't really understood that part yet. Is that he can't pardon state charges at all. So if you got convicted under state law, only the governor can pardon you, and he can't do anything about it. He also sent out a thing today, or the White House did, basically saying the ICC, the International Criminal Court, and ICJ, the International Court of Justice, better not investigate Trump and his cabinet for war crimes, or else. You better not investigate us for war crimes, or else, buddy, we're going to commit some war crimes. And that's basically now the official standing of the United States. The United States is not a member of the ICC or the ICJ, so any warrants or anything like that go out, doesn't matter. I mean, the Trump would not be allowed to go to nations where those warrants would hold up. But in the long run, it doesn't mean anything. Mint Cornetto, joking aside, I listened to the last Jake to Be stream a couple of nights ago from November, down 20,000 on that. And you know what? Gave me some thread a chance. Watch it. After the RC's ice cream post, most don't remember RC posting ice creams as our deal is done stuff. That's what I take it as, that there's some sort of deal that's been done, but we've not found out what it is. And I'm just sick of cryptic posts in general. Just give the forward guidance. DF3C78. If camera isn't working, make sure no other program is using it currently, as some PC cameras can only respond to one program at a time. That was one of the things I checked to make sure it wasn't like on a Zoom or anything like that, but unplugging, plugging back in, rebooting the computer 2 times, and it works. And nothing's frozen so far, so we're still holding out some hope. Mint Cornetto says, seen some crazy shit in the posts, which quickly identify the people who know and don't know the significance of the ice cream thing. Yeah. No camera means your OnlyFans career is not going to take off. Okay. And Polestar says Trump on Venezuela. It's going to be starting on land pretty soon. Lol. Man, just I firmly think that anytime the United States is bombing someone around the world, right? If we drop bombs on someone, we blow things up, we shoot people, whatever. That if our U.S. military is being used somewhere in the world, then the tax bracket for anyone who makes like $500,000 a year or more should be 90%. That seems reasonable to me, because every time we go to war for something, it's for some rich asshole. And so if the rich assholes have to pay out of their pocket for wars, because you start getting taxed at 90%, then we won't do the wars. You guys like that? Does that work for you? You know, if we go bomb Syria, we blow up Venezuela, the tax bracket just shoots up to 90% for all the rich people. ETX Kevin, I thought Trump was the peace president. What? He lied again? Joe Sporto is here. This is illegal. 525 Houston. There's always a problem. I know. I'll empty. You can do the show in the chat. I did get the show working finally. President Brushton is saying first, but you were not first. Polestar is calling me a boomer with tech. This is legal so long as I get my double intro. I'm good. You got no double intro. LMT is only here for the comments anyway. First Day Productions, did the camera go straight to voicemail? Someone give this man new PC. This is the new PC. It was fantastic until last Thursday. Dead Bass, I'm thinking Houston should just run a show from the comment section. Polestar, War Before Epstein Files. You see the Jon Stewart vid he did showing the similarity between Iraq War and this war trying to start. They're using the same verbiage trying to promote it. Yeah. LMT says I'm going to watch foosball. Marcelo Giordano, hey Houston, thoughts on the email Nextbridge sent out this morning? We can read it. Let's pull it up here. I got to go to Gmail. Oops. Where's the Nextbridge hydrocarbons? Shabam. Okay, so turn off the Earth. Turn on the Chrome. There you go. This is the message they sent out. Nextbridge Hydrocarbons announces completion of amended financial statements. The company has recently filed amended quarterly reports on Form 10QA for the first 3 quarters of 2024. This marks the successful completion of the amending and restatement process for fiscal years 2023 and 2024, which had been requested by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. As a result, an annual report on Form 10K for the year ending December 31st, 2024 was filed on December 10th. 2025. As previously announced, Nextbridge has received a letter from the SEC confirming their review of our amended Form 10KA for fiscal year 2023. These amended Form 10QA filings now resolve all open comments regarding those statement periods, and that the company has honored all restatement requests made by the SEC and fulfilled our commitment to the lengthy process required to do so. The company also updates that drilling activities in the Panther Prospect in Louisiana has drawn to a close and will now move on to the Valentine Project in nearby Lafourche Parish. Geologic logging data revealed minimal output potential, and decision was made to discontinue work on the Panther and progress on Valentine. The Valentine Prospect, Broncho Prospect, and other Wildcat SPV acquisitions all remain key assets with the potential to become substantial and impactful reserves. And then Nextbridge Chairman, CEO Greg McCabe says, I take great pleasure in informing our extremely patient shareholders that this lengthy chapter of restating prior year's financials is behind us. It has taken a tremendous expenditure of time, effort, money to get us here, but we are now able to move on with other highly important endeavors, and move on we will. I look forward to updating everyone as our journey progresses, including our strategic shift into Louisiana as our focus areas. So, and everything else is just boilerplate, blah, blah, blah. Basically, what they're saying is, hey, one of our huge prospects doesn't have shit in it, so we're going to focus on one of the other ones, and we don't have Texas anymore, so oops. That's basically what I get out of that. So hopefully they got something in some of those other prospects, but not having the 130,000 acres of the Oro Grande really hurts, because there was 3.5 billion barrels of oil there, and like trillions of cubic feet of natural gas, and then the state just went yoink, despite all the meeting the requirements to keep those leases. And I really hope that they're still doing lawsuits or something on that. So DF 3C78, how's baseball doing? Free agent time. Let's see what they get. Danny Campbell, download and use Brave browser instead of Chrome browser. I don't know what a Brave browser is, so I'll have to look that up. Just Mammy, going back to watching B-52s fly off Venezuela's coast. Okay. Calls of the intro. Yawn, coming to see you live from Monkey Cam. Monkey Cam only. Let's go. I had to do that in the past. We had to do Monkey Cam only, and it was like when the Monkey Cam was mounted here, so it was like up at me at an angle, so you like saw this of me the entire time. Ken Smith says Supreme Court supremely effed us for the king once again. Happy holidays, HW. Yeah. Ron Rose says buy some flat magnets for this thing. I know, but I have those ones already, and that's the problem. First Day Productions. Why do your fingers get all wrinkly after a long hot shower hot tub? I think it's oversaturation, isn't it? I think originally. It's oversaturation, But I was reading something about when humans were barefoot and we were like monkey people, we maybe climbed on all fours, is that wet surfaces were slippery, and by wrinkling your toes and your fingers, it gave you more grip. I think that's why that was the evolutionary explanation for it. Wet, wrinkly fingers and toes evolution explanation. Wet, wrinkled fingers and toes are evolutionary adaptation, acting like tire treads to improve grip on wet surfaces, helping early humans forage in streams or wet vegetation and walk on slippery ground. Yes. Yeah. So I thought I read that before. So there you go. There you go. You have wrinkly toes and fingers because your ancestors didn't like slipping and falling. Even though we still slip and fall, we got the pool deck, still slippery as shit. We still eat it out there. Jay Geyser, volume change. Damn, your mic verse intro went from 2 to 10. Well, this is now everyone's complaining about the microphone. So, Karen Mercer, atmospheric weather, flooding. Mark Kirkpatrick, can the House and Senate subpoena the 1,000 FBI agents that had to redact Trump's name from the Epstein list to see how many times he's mentioned? I don't see why not. Seems to me that they can do that. Kelly Reed, happy birthday, Sin HW. China refuses to use NVIDIA chips. They will just create their own and decimate U.S. markets. Trump has no idea what he's doing. He has pissed off everyone and became friends with Russia, which is a third world country. Yes, and remember, this week it was revealed that Russia was fucking with our water systems, fucking with our sewage systems, fucking with our electrical systems, and had planned to blow up an airliner going from Europe to the United States. He got thwarted on that. And we're still... And Trump today has proposed an alternative to the G7 containing the United States, Russia, and China. So we're basically creating an axis of evil, and we're part of that. And a third of this country is like okay with it, and the rest of the country doesn't know how to stop it. So, Frozen Productions. Has anyone seen Tim Pool's crybaby Candace Owens meltdown this week? Lack of Russian money is hurting, so he's pivoting to Israel money. Yeah, he also claimed that someone did like a drive-by on his house, and the police were like, "We've got no record of that. Let us see if there's any bullets." And he was like, "No." So he's trying to play the victim card on this one as well. And yeah. FLWR just paid off my last private student loan tonight. Awesome. Congratulations. I will never have those paid off unless there's a MOAS. Brian Christie, a group of United Healthcare investors are suing United Healthcare, saying the company is approving too many claims. Proof that health insurance is evil and should not exist. Right there. You're making sure too many people are getting the medical care they need. This is bad for the investors. This is why there should be no investors in healthcare. It should just be a national healthcare system where the hospitals and doctors' offices are owned by the public. The doctors and nurses are on salary and are government employees, and everything is just done at cost. That's it. You eliminate 2.1 million administrators at hospitals and insurance companies, and eliminate all the work doctors need to do for trying to get things approved. Just this the care you need, this the care you provide. Boom, that's it. Do it like that. It is so much. We'd save over $3 trillion a year as a country. $3 trillion a year as a country if we just went to an NHS style system. That at this point is over $20,000 a worker. And I don't understand why we don't see, Amazon, GM, Ford, Boeing, Walmart, Microsoft, these huge employers saying, hey, maybe we should have a national healthcare system, because then we don't have to navigate all this healthcare crap anymore and follow different state healthcare laws, and we'd save $20,000 a worker. That's money for the workers. That's money for the shareholders. That's money for your bottom line. And so why don't they fight for that? Amazon should have no interest in a health insurance company making a lot of money. It just means Microsoft or Amazon makes less money as a result. So a company like Microsoft, that'd be $2 billion in extra revenue a year. $2 billion in extra revenue is what Microsoft would make if we just had national health care. And with an NHS style system, the cost per citizen, it would mean that what we currently pay in Medicare and Medicaid taxes would cover everybody in that system. Don't believe me? Let's show some math, right? Bam. Okay. Okay. All right. So turn all that off right there. Gotta bring the calculator up over here. I didn't get that part. I need to do that part. Calculator. Bam. Go to scene. All right. So we have here, this is Peterson KFF Healthcare System Tracker. And this is showing healthcare expenditures per person in nations. So the United States is at 13,342 on this one. This is as of 2023. I think it's closer to 15,000 right now, actually. And the United Kingdom is at 6,000. So the United Kingdom is less than half the United States per person. Switzerland's private insurance, Germany's private insurance, but it's universal health care and it's nonprofit. So there you go. But the UK is at $6,000 per person. All right. So the United States were to move to a system that was $6,000.23 per person, NHS style system, where the hospitals are owned by you and me. The doctor's offices are, the nurses and the doctors are all federal employees, and they just get paid salary. They don't have to worry about budgeting or anything else. We're just going straight to this UK NHS style system. All right. So turn off Chrome. There's the calculator. There's 330 million Americans, right? Times 6,023. 6,023 comes out to $1.987 billion. So about just under $2 trillion for that system, right? And total tax revenue for Medicare, Medicaid is $1.1 trillion. It's how much Medicare and Medicaid takes out in taxes. 1.1 trillion. So this is actually, it's a little more than Medicare and Medicaid. So, all right. So you got to pay double what your Medicare and Medicaid is, but you get to save the $2,000 a month that you'd pay in health insurance for your family, $4,000 a month you pay in health insurance for your family. So you get this little bit of tax out, and there's no deductible. There's no copay. If you're sick, you just go to the doctor and they treat you and they send you home. And there's no billing involved. It's just at cost. Your taxes just take care of it, right? Our current, what we currently pay, cost of U.S. healthcare spending total is in 2023 is $4.9 trillion. So this is literally $3 trillion less than 2023 dollars. So if we just did an NHS system, $3 trillion less. And workers are the ones that pay for the system, right? Because children don't, the disabled don't, and retirees don't. So it's workers are, the 45% of the population that works pays for these things, right? And so if you want to take that $3 trillion, so let's see here, 330,123,123, and we're going to times that by 0.45. Just how many people are working and paying taxes. That's 148 million people. Okay, so we can do 1987590. Clear that. 1987590. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, there's that. Divide it by 148,500,000. And that comes out to 13,000 per worker. So 13,384. So my estimate 20,000 was off, but $13,384 per worker is what we would save in this country. Just imagine if you were a union member, right? You're a union member and you no longer have to spend time fighting over health insurance. You United Auto Workers, UFCW, Teamsters, or whatever. Like health insurance is everyone has it. Who gives a shit? We don't have to talk about it anymore. Now you can be like, I want my workers to get a 10% raise. The company can be like, oh, whoa, 10%. That's a lot. Like, well, you're not paying for healthcare anymore, so we know you have the money. And the company's like, shit, right? So it benefits the workers. It benefits the shareholders. It benefits you as a worker because you won't be stuck in a dead end job just because they happened to have health insurance and you got a kid who's sick or whatever, right? You won't have to see some 88-year-old man working the check stand at a Walmart because his wife's sick. He can go enjoy his retirement because healthcare is just taken care of. You won't see 700,000 bankruptcies a year across this country because of health expenditures and people just losing everything. So just have national healthcare system. We'd have so much money in our pockets. Oh my goodness. Imagine the vacations people would take, the cars that would get purchased, the consumer goods that would go through everyone's hands. So just do it already. Just do it, man. Just do it, right, Kitty? Yeah, that's right. Okay. Coppertone sunscreen. Happy birthday, Houston. 3-year anniversary of MTLP getting halted and still nothing. Did Next Wedge ever fight to keep their oil lands in West Texas? I know that they filed some sort of form or with the courts to force the University Lands Board to reveal like all their communication behind why they decided to take the lease back. But I've not seen results ever come out of that. Hot Pog Rebel, Christmas early. Baltimore Pete the Pilot Bear for 5 years. Called this in a show Tuesday. And very happy about that. Cynic E69. G'day from down under. Just Bordo. What's going on? I don't know. Ken Smith goes. Oh my God, do with nub. Yeah, sounds like another mic is picking up sound. Oh, guys, this is where the mic problems were coming in and everyone was very angry about that. Okay, so then I got it fixed. Blah, blah, blah. Ciz54, 20 Republicans vote with Dems to reverse Trump executive order on federal unions. The bill blocking most federal unions is led by Maine Democrat Jared Golden. Indiana also rejected GOP gerrymandering map. Yes. Dragon Targaryen. Any hope for us GME holders? At this point, I'm just going to wait for it to hit $23 and sell it all. After 5 years, this has to be the worst investment decision I've made. That's the sentiment of quite a few people. And, you know, if you're down 30% on the year on a company that has amassed $10 billion, there's something wrong with the system, with the leadership, all sorts of things. Like, I don't know, do shit. I'm Jack to the Tits 605. Cannabis stocks going boom boom after hours. Tilray, Sundial, etc. Trump to reclassify. We get these rumors all the time that they're going to reclassify, and then we see stuff come out of states where they're like, we're going to hammer it down even more. So it'd be interesting to see if it actually gets reclassified, because there's all these rumors about Biden reclassifying it, and he still didn't. But I guess if these companies, if like Tilray goes out and gives Trump like 1 million shares, and it's like, here's 1 million shares, man, then he'll definitely reclassify it. So they know you got to pay to play. Mitchell Wong, there are too many other geopolitical experts who collaborate with Scott Ritter that make those negative stories look like propaganda. Yeah, he's still a kid diddler, man. So you have to wonder why someone possibly set him up. Nope, he's gotten busted for it multiple times. It's not a one-time thing. And I think he pled guilty to it the first time around. Let's see here. Scott Ritter Wiki. It'll be down here somewhere. Weapons Inspector, Operation Desert Fox, other statements, other views, Iran. No, where is kid diddling? I care about reception of weapons inspector. I care about kid diddling. Passport seizure. Oh, arrest conviction. Okay. So Ritter was the subject of two law enforcement sting operations in 2001. He was charged in 2001 trying to set up meeting an undercover police officer posing as a 16-year-old girl. He was charged with misdemeanor crime of attempted endangerment of a boyfriend child. The charge was dismissed and the record was sealed after he completed 6 months of pre-trial probation. Ritter suggested at the time that the case, which coincided with his prominent dissent against the build-up to the Iraq War, was a smear campaign designed to silence him. Ritter was arrested again in 2009 over communication with the police decoy he met on the internet chat site. Police said that he exposed himself via webcam. After the police officer repeatedly identified himself as a 15-year-old girl, the next month, Ritter waived his right to a preliminary hearing and was released on $25,000 secured bond. Charges included unlawful contact with a minor, criminal use of a communication facility, corrupting of minors, indecent exposure, possessing instruments of crime, criminal attempt, criminal solicitation. Ritter rejected a plea bargain and was found guilty of all but the criminal contempt in county court in Rochester. And he was sentenced to 1.5 to 5.5 years in prison. He was sent to Laurel Heights State Prison in March 2012 and paroled in September 2014. So he's done it multiple times. So he managed to somehow get himself framed twice for the same crime with basically the same aged girls. Which makes you wonder how many times he's done it and gotten away with it, right? That not everyone he's communicating with is a decoy police officer. So he's a kid diddler. That's what he is. Yeah. Okay. Just Memmy. Weed stocks currently spiking on Orange Dude saying he's signing an executive order loosening federal restrictions. Oh boy. Phoenix Collins is not a real Houston show without technical issues. Yeah. And Eric Farmer 17, silver trade appears to be locking as price reaches new heights. Thoughts? I think that there's some really big players like JP Morgan who are heavily short on silver and also can't deliver on futures that they promised. So, oops, I think the price can actually go higher on silver. Some people are saying $500 for silver. I don't think it will go that high, but I do have enough silver that if it does go that high, I should probably sell it. So, I'm all for it if it does. Yeah. Woo! Yay! Go that high. So, yeah. Fred Jones, what are your thoughts on Trump taking the Venezuela oil ship? I think it's baby steps towards the ultimate battle that they're going to be doing. They're just like, it's ramping up. You take an oil ship here, you take an oil ship there, you close off all of the ability of Venezuela to export any other oil because they don't have the refinery space to do anything with it. And then they have no money coming in at that point. And then you give them all the excuses to attack you, and then you go to war, a happy country, right? Just has another one. They're about to take another one out. Lunar Swine, Houston, happy birthday. Check the cost to borrow on CETX. Prime to blow tomorrow morning. CETX. CETX is a stock currently at $3.48. It was down 64 cents today. Wait, not that one. I need that one. Let's do cost to borrow. CETX. Chemtrax. Whoa, 800%. 711%. Damn. Interesting. Is there a CETX options chain? There's an options chain, so it's a small guy. Interesting. Okay, so you gotta do shares, but the shares are $3 and something. Interesting. Noted. 711% is the cost to borrow on that one. Lunar Swine popped a few days ago. Tomorrow could be bigger. All right. Noted. Keep my eyes open for that tomorrow morning. Anyway, it's 6 o'clock. I've been doing this for a while now, and we'll do a show tomorrow. It'll probably be an evening show tomorrow because I got shit to do during the day. So probably another After Dark. So I'll see you guys for that. And why don't you have a great night, right? Right? After Dark. Bye. I'll do the After Dark intro, but it's been dinging me. The fat cat getting pet. Okay, everybody, have a good night. And